Hi everyone, back today with another video. This is just what I was doing to make gold today, and I just thought I'd share it with everyone. Um, just in case you wanted to replicate it, I do make a lot of gold every day, and this way other people can potentially do that too. You can see that I'm just checking my patron orders, seeing which ones give me profits. With the new patch coming out, I'm also looking at the ones that will give me a tailoring knowledge point because I'm looking to build up my concentration spec for this so I can make higher quality things more often. Because I think the public orders will go pretty crazy in the initial part of the patch, so the first couple of weeks. So I really want to be able to make the most out of that. So I'm trying to be as ready as possible, even if it's a little bit of a gold loss now. So that's what I'm doing there. I am still making gold on most of them, but you can see I am filling some of the orders that are like a little bit of a loss instead of a major loss. So I started there. I've also been working on my tinderbox flip. So I checked the auction house. If you watched my video yesterday, I said that I don't buy anything below 755 for the tinderbox flip. And that's true. I really stick with that. I'm just checking my public orders here to see if there's anything. Sometimes there is. It's the middle of the day, which, it's not great for public orders. It's really the morning and the evenings that do the best, but you never know. Sometimes people put up those public orders in the middle of the day with super good tips because there's less people filling them and they want them filled quickly. So it's worth checking. You can see here, I added to my specs. I also looked and seen what was worth selling enchant wise and tailoring wise. You can see a lot of things came back into my mailbox. I only list most things for 12 hours. Somebody pointed it out for me that the listing fee is half the price. And also, after about 12 hours, you're being undercut anyway. So there's no point being listed for 24 in most cases, unless you've got an item that is really uncommon and you're unlikely to be undercut. I think 12 hours is the way to go. It saves gold, but also you get a couple of more chances to be the front of the line. So you can see the Pioneer things are selling. So I am relisting those. I'm making a couple there. It's just lots of people are rolling alts at the moment. It's a good gold making strategy. It's not the fastest gold making strategy, but I am making 8 to 10,000 gold a week making these Pioneer things and also the accessories. So people are buying a lot of those at the moment, probably for alts, and they're not prepared to buy the best quality things yet. I suppose once they get to max level, they'll think about it, but while leveling, they're just looking at the smaller things. You can see here the toys that you're able to get from the vendor. I've listed them for a lower gold amount because we're really reaching the point where if I'm going to make gold on this, it needs to happen soon. I've only bought one of each toy, so the worst case scenario, I learn them and I have them myself. I'm not left with 100 I can't do anything with. But yeah, so I've lowered the price on those to see if we can get any takers. I'm holding on to some of the competitors' formulas. If they're selling for less than 10,000 gold, I don't list them because I think, again, there will be this big boom come season two. And I think it'll be worth listing there. So you probably noticed when I opened the mailbox, I made about 59,000 gold just overnight, so just between listing stuff and logging back in, which is a fair bit of gold. Some of that is the tinderbox flip, which it doesn't make as much money as it seems. If it says I'm getting 100,000 gold in my mailbox, I didn't make 100,000 gold on that flip. But I am making substantial amounts of gold on that flip. Even now, it is getting harder, and I'm having to be more careful. But yeah, it's definitely still making money. So if you've got a bit of surplus gold and you're willing to take the risk, definitely give it a go. You can list it for whatever you like, but I don't list it for less than 2,400. If I can, I'm listing it for higher. You can see I listed it for 2,480 there. So this is just what I do. I log in for 10, 15 minutes in intervals a couple of times a day when I've got some time in between my writing, and I pick up those boxes when they're cheap, the things I need for the tinder boxes when they're cheap. I did do my delve run today. I just needed a bit of a break from writing. So I did my delve today, and I'll put a little bit of that in here. I'm working on my delve amount, but mostly you guys are watching this particular video because you're interested in how I make gold. And the delve, the first one of the week, makes a lot of gold. So I will include a little bit of that here. I will post the delve video separately and talk about what I did there because I managed to get the achievement, the spore achievement, and how I did that. for the mount. So I'll post that separately. But I did do the delve as well, the first one for the week, and that's made a fair bit of gold. You can see here with my enchants, different ones are making gold today. For a little while, the Glimmering Mastery one, the low level enchant there, has been making me a lot of gold. But for some reason today, it's all about haste. So I'm able to make that gold level glimmering haste enchant with bronze level things, and that makes me quite a bit of profit in terms of margins. And they're selling pretty much as quickly as I can list them. So I don't make a huge amount, don't make 500 and list it. You will get undercut, but I make 5 to 10 at a time and list it. And then once they're all sold, I go back and I make 5 to 10 more and I list it. And I'm making about 20 gold per enchant, which, it's only 200 gold for every 10 that I sell, but there's still 200 gold for not doing anything. You can basically AFK while you make these enchants. So it doesn't take a lot of effort, especially if you don't have a lot of time and you're a casual player and you want to spend your WoW time doing raids or mythics or delves or whatever it is that you do. If you don't want to be putting in dedicated time for farms, this is a good way to make gold. It's a little bit slower, but it is steady, and you do have to just kind of keep an eye on it. Don't just assume because something was making gold yesterday that it is today. Check it. So at the moment, Chant of Winged Grace, whenever I've got the concentration, I make those, and you can see they sell really fast and they make about 1,000 gold profit per enchant. I was able to make two today because my concentration build is getting better. And that's 5,000 gold right there very quickly. If you're looking just to cover your raid bills, it's done. Unless you're as good at dying as I am, then you probably need some more. But you do this every day of the week, and you've got your raid bills covered pretty much. So just make sure you're checking to see what you've already got and whether or not there are ways you can be making gold. That craft sim add-on is pretty good. You can see that I got burned. I made the one of the weapon enchants, and it says I was going to make a bit of gold from that. And then when I went to sell it, I should have checked it first, but then when I went to sell it, it was actually at a loss. I've done it now. It can't be undone. It is what it is. But just make sure you're double checking. It isn't always right, so it is just best to be sure. So at the beginning, when I opened my mailbox, I had 1,030,000 gold, and you can see that I've blown that pretty quick. So I've got 1,030,000 now, and by the end of this video, I've spent a lot of money. When I got out of my delve, somebody had accidentally listed an item for really stupidly cheap, and I bought all of it, which cost me a lot of gold. And I'll show you when that comes up. But oh my goodness, I spent a lot of gold. So hopefully it was a smart thing and not a stupid thing. But if it is, it is. I'll just hold it until later. I'm positive it'll make profit in the long run. But I did take a bit of a gamble buying that much all at once. But we'll see. So I do stock up on the storm dust when it's cheap, the silver and bronze. You can see I check on the auction house for that at the moment. It's not as cheap as it used to be. I think we've hit the bottom for the drop, at least for now, until season 2 dies down a bit. But I am buying those things in the middle of the day when I can, because that's when the prices are the best, and I buy them in bulk for these enchants, and that's just how I'm managing to make so much profit on them. You probably make more if you farm the things yourself, but this is just a bit faster. I don't always have time to do my weaver cloth farm, and when I do, I want to do other things. I think I've mentioned that a couple of times now. So I do it in like 10-minute intervals, but sometimes it is just best to buy these regions when they're cheap, and so that's what I do. I've got enough gold now that it's okay if I need to hold it for a little bit while I do that. And I'll just go put them in my bank for now. So this is another login just before I go do my delve. And you can see here the Glimmering Haste, when you make it with the bronze stuff, is making a fair bit of profit. And all of the ones I've listed have sold while I've been gone raining. So I've made a bunch more before I go to my delve. And before I'm even halfway through my delve, they've all sold again. So at the moment, the beginning of the week is a really good time to be making these kinds of low-level enchants. They do sell throughout the week, but if you can dedicate some time at the beginning of the week, after the Great Vault gets opened, you make a bit. And I don't know why people would be putting these enchants on their rings, but I think it's more to do with alts, perhaps. So that's what I'm doing there before. So I went and did the Fungal Folly delve today, and I will post a separate video on how I got the achievement. But I managed to get all the treasure chests, and I managed to not stand in the little explosive spores, which is a real big thing for me. Like, I'm very good at standing in the stuff. So to do that I felt pretty good about that. And I was feeling a bit sluggish. So I was pretty impressed I had the mental capacity for it, to be honest. So yeah, I did the delve. This is just the ending of the delve. I'm not going to make you sit through it unless you want to, and then you can watch the separate video. I did miss one of the purple dude groups this time around, but I was more focused on trying to get that achievement finished. I'd made it to very close to the end, and I didn't want to stuff it up by going and hunting for the purple guys. So I killed 2 of the 3, so I didn't get as many coins as normal, but I did pick up the cipher, and I was able to still buy 3 bags. You could see that I was like 20 under coins short. So the next delve I do, I'll get to buy another bag. But still, it's a pretty good turnover, the profit you get from those bags. So I've done that. You can see me buying the bags here. And then I go and check the auction house. Somebody's just on that auction house mount at the end there, and it really confused me. So you can probably see I open it, and here it is, 397 of these Kaheti oils just listed for 739 gold. Like, you can see, I spend a lot of gold buying all of these out. That is just an insane price. And the profit margins I'm going to make on those tinder boxes are going to be really nice. So I have checked the prices since, and they're not that low again. So it does seem like it was a mistake and not some sort of substantial change in the market that I've missed. But I did buy them all out, and I have swapped them over to tinder boxes. You can see here I've got some stuff in my mailbox, and I'm trying not to open that. I want to show you at the end how much gold I made before I log off for the day. This is just showing you how much I've got coming into the mailbox after once the hour clears. But I'm going to go trade out those tinder boxes, those oils for tinder boxes now, and list them on the auction house. And the being patient really makes a big difference. Don't just list them for whatever the price is right now. The price really fluctuates in the evenings. It can go right up to, I've sold all the way up to 2,600. I do find when I list at that price, they don't always sell though. So I've started listing around the high 2,400s, almost 2,500s, depending on what the market is doing when I'm listing it. If it's looking like it's going to push it, I do list for the higher price. But that's been a really steady income for me, and that seems like a good price point. You can see here, I bought all of the Kaheti oils for 294,000 gold. And when I list the tinder boxes, I list it for 360 something thousand gold. I just double checked. It was 347. So that's still a fair whack of profit. And like I've said countless times, if it does not sell, I am positive it will when season 2 starts. I'm not concerned. And I've got the gold right now. My subscription's paid up for the moment. I don't need to stress. And even if it does go sideways, you can see I've still got the gold I need in my bag to buy the subscription for the coming month. But I'm confident this will sell anyway. I will just remind you, this kind of flipping is risky. I did spend over 300,000 gold flipping something to make a potential 21,000 gold. So when you're doing this, just make sure you've got a backup plan, essentially, for if everything goes sideways. What are you going to do if it doesn't work? Like I've said many times, my backup plan is season 2. But I think it's worthwhile. There's not many other ways I can make 21,000 gold while I'm logged out and working. So I think it's a worthwhile investment just for me. Other people might think differently, but that's how I'm running it. That's all for today's video. If you found this helpful, like and subscribe. And as always, remember, girls don't play WoW.